Have you ever noticed how sometimes, without even saying a word, someone can tell you exactly what they're feeling? Maybe it's the way they cross their arms or the look in their eyes that makes you pause and wonder what's really going on in their mind. I remember a time when I was having coffee with a friend, and without her saying anything, I knew something was off. Her posture, her gestures, they were all sending signals that her words weren't matching. It got me thinking about how much we actually communicate without speaking, especially when it comes to understanding emotions, attraction, and connection. So today, let's dive into that subtle, fascinating world of what our bodies reveal about us. Whether it's how someone shows affection, or the little signs that give away how they're really feeling, there's so much more to discover when you pay attention. Ready to learn some surprising truths? Let's get started. Crossed arms and fidgeting hands, signs of nervousness and guardedness. Crossed arms and fidgeting hands are among the most common nonverbal cues associated with discomfort, nervousness, or emotional guardedness. While these gestures might seem insignificant or easily overlooked, they often reveal a lot about a person's internal state, especially in situations where they may feel uneasy or uncertain. Understanding these subtle signals can provide insight into how someone is truly feeling, even if they are trying to mask their emotions through their words. Let's start with crossed arms. This gesture is one of the clearest signs of defensiveness or discomfort in body language. When someone crosses their arms in front of their body, they are subconsciously creating a physical barrier between themselves and the outside world. This can happen in various contexts: during a disagreement, when someone feels insecure, or when they want to protect themselves emotionally. Crossed arms can signal that the person is feeling vulnerable or doesn't want to engage fully in the conversation or situation. It's a way of closing off and creating a sense of distance, even if they are physically present. For example, in a tense conversation, someone might cross their arms as a way of protecting themselves from criticism or judgment. Even if they don't voice their discomfort, their body language reveals that they are not open to the discussion and are emotionally withdrawing. It's worth noting that while crossed arms can be a sign of defensiveness, context matters. Some people cross their arms out of habit or for comfort, especially if they are cold or trying to focus. However, when combined with other signs of tension, like avoiding eye contact or maintaining a stiff posture, it becomes clearer that this gesture is a reflection of emotional discomfort. In more intimate or personal conversations, crossed arms can indicate that someone is feeling guarded or unwilling to open up. They might be hesitant to share their true feelings or worried about being judged. This is especially common in vulnerable moments when a person feels exposed or uncertain about how the other person will react. By crossing their arms, they create a shield, both physically and emotionally, signaling that they are not ready to let their guard down. Fidgeting hands, on the other hand, are a classic sign of nervousness or anxiety. When someone is feeling uneasy, their hands often become restless, whether it's tapping their fingers, playing with a pen, adjusting their clothing, or twirling their hair. These small, repetitive movements are the body's way of releasing nervous energy. Fidgeting can happen when someone is trying to appear calm or composed on the outside, but their internal tension leaks through their hands. It's a form of distraction, a way to cope with the discomfort they're experiencing. For instance, in a social setting, if someone is feeling awkward or out of place, they might start fidgeting with objects around them or their own hands. This behavior is often subconscious, but it's a clear indication that they are not fully comfortable in the moment. The more nervous or anxious someone feels, the more likely they are to fidget, even if they are trying to hide their discomfort. In professional settings, fidgeting can be a sign of insecurity or a lack of confidence. During a job interview or presentation, for example, a person might tap their fingers on the table or play with their ring, indicating that they are anxious about how they are being perceived. While the person may be delivering well-prepared answers, Their fidgeting hands can betray their nervousness, making it clear that they are feeling stressed or under pressure. Interestingly, some people fidget not just out of nervousness, but also when they are bored or disengaged. If someone starts to fiddle with objects or repeatedly adjust their posture, it might be a sign that they are losing interest in the conversation or activity. This type of fidgeting can signal that their mind is elsewhere, even if they are physically present. The combination of crossed arms and fidgeting hands can be particularly telling. When these two gestures occur together, it's often a strong indicator that someone is feeling both emotionally guarded and anxious. They may be trying to protect themselves while also struggling to manage their nervous energy. In such situations, it's important to recognize these signs and adjust the conversation or environment to help the person feel more at ease. For example, if you notice that someone has crossed their arms and is fidgeting during a conversation, it might be helpful to change the topic or ask them open-ended questions to encourage more comfort and openness. What makes these gestures so significant is that they often happen involuntarily, meaning the person may not even be aware that they are giving away their feelings through their body language. This makes crossed arms and fidgeting hands reliable cues to look for when trying to gauge someone's true emotional state, especially in situations where they may not be openly expressing their thoughts. In summary, crossed arms and fidgeting hands are powerful indicators of discomfort, nervousness, and guardedness. They reflect underlying emotions that people might not express verbally, offering valuable clues about how they are feeling in a given situation. By paying attention to these subtle gestures, you can gain deeper insight into someone's emotional state and respond in a way that helps them feel more comfortable and understood. Whether in social, professional, or personal interactions, being aware of these nonverbal cues can improve communication and foster stronger connections. Decoding discomfort: how body language reveals hidden emotions. Body language is an incredibly powerful tool when it comes to uncovering emotions that people may not express verbally. In fact, discomfort or emotional tension is often revealed through subtle, unspoken cues long before someone openly admits to feeling uneasy. Whether it's in a social, professional, or personal setting, being able to recognize these nonverbal signs can help you better understand how someone is truly feeling and navigate the situation with more empathy and awareness. One of the most common signs of discomfort is crossed arms. While some people might cross their arms simply out of habit, in many cases it's a defensive posture that signals unease or a desire to protect oneself emotionally. This gesture creates a barrier between the person and the outside world, suggesting they may be feeling vulnerable, threatened, or closed off. If someone is engaged in a conversation and suddenly crosses their arms, it could indicate that something has made them uncomfortable or that they're disagreeing with what's being said, even if they aren't voicing it. Similarly, leg positioning can also offer insight into discomfort. When someone crosses their legs away from the person they're speaking with, it can suggest a subconscious attempt to distance themselves. This is especially true if other signs of discomfort, such as avoiding eye contact or shifting in their seat, accompany it. On the other hand, when someone feels relaxed and open, their legs are often uncrossed, and they may lean slightly forward, showing engagement and interest. Fidgeting is another strong indicator of hidden discomfort. People often fidget when they are nervous, anxious, or uncomfortable in a situation. This can manifest in various ways, such as playing with jewelry, tapping fingers, or adjusting clothing. These small, repetitive movements can signal that someone is feeling uneasy, even if they're trying to maintain a calm, outward appearance. Fidgeting is the body's way of releasing pent-up energy, and it often occurs when someone is trying to mask their true emotions or when they're feeling restless. Eye contact, or the lack of it, also speaks volumes about someone's emotional state. When a person avoids making eye contact, it can be a sign that they're uncomfortable, anxious, or hiding something. In some cases, people may glance away because they feel self-conscious or insecure. Prolonged avoidance of eye contact can also suggest that the person feels threatened or is experiencing guilt. On the other hand, intense eye contact, while sometimes a sign of confidence, can also be used as a way to assert dominance or control, which might create discomfort for the other person. Another less obvious but equally telling signal of discomfort is facial tension. People who are uncomfortable or stressed often show it in their facial expressions. A furrowed brow, tight lips, or a clenched jaw are all indicators that someone is feeling tense. These micro-expressions can happen so quickly that they're easy to miss, but if you pay attention, they offer valuable clues about how someone is really feeling. Even if someone is smiling and trying to appear relaxed, a slight tension around the eyes or mouth can reveal that they're not as comfortable as they seem. Changes in posture also provide insight into hidden emotions. When people feel relaxed and at ease, their posture tends to be open and comfortable. However, when they're feeling uncomfortable, they may hunch their shoulders, pull their arms closer to their body, or sit stiffly. This closed-off posture is the body's way of protecting itself, and it's often accompanied by other signs of discomfort, like shifting in their seat or repositioning frequently. The person might also lean away from whoever is speaking, indicating a desire to distance themselves from the conversation or situation. Touching the face or neck is another common sign of hidden discomfort. This self-soothing gesture can indicate anxiety or nervousness. People often touch their face, rub their neck, or play with their hair when they're feeling unsure or awkward in a situation. It's a subconscious way of comforting themselves and can reveal that they're not as confident as they may appear on the surface. Similarly, covering the mouth with a hand or finger can suggest that someone is holding back something they want to say, or they're uncomfortable with what is being discussed. Finally, the way someone uses physical space can reveal a lot about their comfort level. When people are uncomfortable, they may subtly move away or try to create more space between themselves and the person or situation that's causing discomfort. This can be as simple as leaning back in their chair, taking a step away during a conversation, or angling their body away from the other person. These small movements may seem insignificant, but they're often a clear sign that someone is feeling emotionally or physically uneasy. Understanding these non-verbal cues can help you decode what someone might be feeling without them having to say a word. It allows you to respond with more empathy and awareness, which can be particularly useful in delicate situations where someone may not feel comfortable expressing their true emotions. By recognizing the signs of discomfort, you can create a more supportive environment, whether it's by addressing the source of their unease or simply offering them the space they need to feel more at ease. In the end, body language is a window into the emotions people are often reluctant to voice, and learning to read these signals can improve your interactions and deepen your connections with others. Posture and proximity. How body language reflects intimacy and distance. The way we position our bodies and the physical distance we maintain between ourselves and others are powerful indicators of emotional states, including levels of intimacy and trust. Posture and proximity are two of the most telling aspects of body language, revealing whether someone feels comfortable, open, guarded, or distant. These non-verbal cues play a crucial role in how we navigate relationships, from casual interactions to deeply personal connections. Posture is one of the first things we notice about someone in a conversation or social setting. When a person is relaxed and open, their posture will reflect this by being more upright, with their shoulders back and head held high. An open posture, where the body is directed towards another person, signals that they are engaged and interested. In contrast, a closed posture, where the arms are crossed, the shoulders are hunched, or the body is turned away, often indicates discomfort, insecurity, or even disinterest. These subtle shifts in posture communicate how a person feels in real time and can provide clues about their level of openness or vulnerability. For example, when two people are deeply engaged in a conversation, their bodies often mirror each other. This is known as postural congruence, and it is a sign that they are emotionally connected and in sync. The way they sit or stand, the angle of their bodies, and even the direction of their feet can mirror one another, reinforcing a sense of harmony and mutual understanding. This mirroring is largely subconscious, but is a strong indicator of connection. If one person leans in, the other may do the same, signaling a desire to be close and engaged. If one shifts away, the other might instinctively follow, revealing discomfort or a desire for distance. Proximity, or the physical distance between people, is another key element in understanding body language and intimacy. People who are emotionally close often reduce the space between them, naturally gravitating toward one another. In romantic or intimate relationships, this can mean sitting close together, touching, or leaning into each other during conversations. The reduction of personal space is a clear sign of comfort and trust. In contrast, when someone feels uncomfortable, they may step back or lean away to create more distance. This physical distancing is a way of signaling that they are not ready for emotional closeness or that they are feeling overwhelmed by the interaction. In social situations, the concept of personal space, also known as proxemics, varies depending on cultural norms and the nature of the relationship. In Western cultures, there are generally understood zones of proximity: intimate space, 0 to 18 inches, personal space, 18 inches to 4 feet, social space, 4 to 12 feet, and public space, more than 12 feet. Intimate space is reserved for close relationships, such as romantic partners, family, and very close friends. When someone allows you into this space, it is a strong indicator of trust and affection. On the other hand, if someone is consistently maintaining distance or pulling away, it could suggest that they are not ready to let you into their personal or emotional world. Posture and proximity are also crucial in professional environments, where they can influence perceptions of confidence, authority, and approachability. In a business setting, an open posture combined with appropriate proximity can signal professionalism, confidence, and engagement. For example, standing or sitting upright with an open stance, shoulders back, arms uncrossed, creates a sense of approachability and readiness to engage. Leaning slightly forward in a meeting or conversation can also indicate active listening and interest in the other person's ideas. In contrast, closed-off posture and increased physical distance can signal disengagement, defensiveness, or lack of interest. In a job interview or meeting, crossing your arms, leaning away from the table, or avoiding eye contact can create a barrier between you and the other person, making you seem unapproachable or disinterested, even if that's not your intention. Recognizing and adjusting your posture and proximity in professional interactions can improve your communication and help build stronger, more positive connections. Posture and proximity also play a significant role in conflict resolution. During an argument or difficult conversation, people may unconsciously adopt defensive postures, such as crossing their arms or turning their bodies slightly away from the person they're speaking to. This is a sign that they are protecting themselves emotionally and are not fully open to resolving the issue. Similarly, increasing the physical distance between themselves and the other person can indicate a desire to escape the conflict or disengage from the conversation. On the other hand, leaning in, maintaining open posture, and closing the distance can signal a willingness to listen, understand, and work through the problem together. In romantic relationships, posture and proximity are even more revealing. Couples who feel emotionally connected tend to sit or stand closer to each other, touch more frequently, and adopt open, relaxed postures in each other's presence. They are comfortable sharing personal space, which reflects a high level of trust and intimacy. On the flip side, When a relationship is strained, partners may unconsciously create more physical distance or adopt closed-off postures, signaling a breakdown in emotional closeness. These subtle shifts can be early indicators of underlying issues that need to be addressed. Understanding the dynamics of posture and proximity can help you become more aware of your own body language and the signals you're sending, as well as how others might be feeling based on their nonverbal cues. By paying attention to these subtle signs, you can adjust your behavior to create more positive interactions, whether you're trying to build intimacy, resolve a conflict, or establish a professional connection. Ultimately, the way we position our bodies and the space we share with others reflects the emotional landscape of our relationships, offering a silent but powerful language that speaks volumes about our feelings and intentions. Unspoken signals, the power of nonverbal communication in relationships. Nonverbal communication is a powerful tool in human interaction, often speaking louder than words. In relationships, these unspoken signals can reveal feelings, intentions, and emotional states that words might not convey. When two people are communicating, it's not just what they say that matters, it's also how they hold themselves, the way they look at each other, and the subtle shifts in their posture or gestures. These elements form a complex, silent language that we all use, often without even realizing it. For instance, body language can reveal attraction long before anyone expresses it verbally. A simple lean towards someone during a conversation, maintaining eye contact, or even how often someone mirrors your movements can indicate a deeper level of interest. These are all subconscious cues that we pick up on, even if we're not fully aware of them. Studies show that people who are attracted to each other naturally start mimicking each other's gestures, creating a kind of unspoken harmony between them. Moreover, understanding nonverbal cues can help in building emotional connections. A gentle touch on the arm, a soft smile, or even how someone positions their body towards you can signal affection and openness. On the flip side, crossed arms, avoiding eye contact, or turning the body away are classic signs of discomfort or disinterest. Being attuned to these subtle signals can help in navigating the emotional landscape of a relationship, allowing for more empathy and understanding. One of the most intriguing aspects of nonverbal communication is how much of it happens without conscious effort. Research suggests that up to 93% of communication is nonverbal, which means that our tone of voice, facial expressions, and body movements carry the bulk of our message. This is why it's often said that actions speak louder than words. If someone's words are saying one thing, but their body language is telling another story, it's usually the nonverbal cues that we believe. In relationships, this becomes even more critical. Partners who are in tune with each other's nonverbal signals tend to have stronger connections because they can sense emotions that aren't spoken. For example, a partner who notices subtle signs of stress or sadness, like slumped shoulders or a lack of usual energy, can respond with support before a word is said. This ability to read each other strengthens the emotional bond. Nonverbal communication is also vital in conflict resolution. When emotions run high, it's easy to say things we don't mean, but our body language often reveals the truth. A partner may say they're fine, but if their arms are crossed, their tone is cold, and they avoid eye contact, it's clear that something is wrong. Being aware of these signals can help partners address issues more effectively, as it encourages them to look beyond words and focus on the underlying emotions. In short, nonverbal communication is the silent thread that ties relationships together. It's constantly at play, from the smallest gestures to the more significant physical signals, offering insights into how we feel and what we desire. Understanding these unspoken signals can deepen connections, resolve misunderstandings, and ultimately lead to more fulfilling relationships. So, the next time you're with someone important to you, pay close attention to what their body might be saying. it could reveal more than words ever could. Gestures of love, small movements that show connection and trust. In relationships, it's often the small, seemingly insignificant gestures that communicate the deepest feelings of love, connection, and trust. These tiny movements, whether it's a touch, a glance, or even a slight shift in body language, can speak volumes about the bond between two people. When words fall short or emotions are too intense to express verbally, these nonverbal cues become the most powerful indicators of affection. One of the most intimate gestures that can signal love and trust is a gentle touch. Whether it's holding hands, a light touch on the arm, or a reassuring pat on the back, physical contact often conveys what words cannot. Touch is a fundamental human need, and when someone reaches out to you, it's a way of saying, "I'm here for you," without actually speaking the words. Research has shown that even brief touches can increase feelings of trust and bonding between people. For example, a partner who lightly touches your hand during a conversation is subconsciously reinforcing the emotional connection you share. Another significant gesture is eye contact. While we often take it for granted, eye contact is one of the most powerful ways to express love and connection. When someone holds your gaze, it's a sign of openness, trust, and vulnerability. Prolonged eye contact, in particular, creates a sense of intimacy that few other forms of communication can match. It's no coincidence that couples who feel deeply connected often spend more time making eye contact during conversations. In fact, studies show that eye contact can even synchronize brain activity between two people, deepening their emotional bond. Smiling is another subtle yet potent gesture of love. A genuine smile, one that involves not just the mouth but also the eyes, is a universal sign of happiness and affection. When someone smiles at you, it's their way of showing you that they feel joy in your presence. In romantic relationships, smiling often happens naturally and frequently, even during mundane moments. These shared smiles help reinforce the emotional connection, reminding both partners that their bond brings happiness and comfort. A simple smile across a room can instantly lift your mood and remind you of the love and trust that exists between you. Posture also plays a crucial role in expressing love and connection. When two people are comfortable with each other, they tend to adopt more open and relaxed postures. For instance, leaning in slightly during a conversation shows interest and attentiveness, signaling that you are fully engaged in the moment. On the other hand, turning your body towards someone while sitting or standing demonstrates a desire to be close and connected. These small adjustments in posture are often subconscious, but reflect the depth of the emotional connection between two people. Mirroring is another fascinating aspect of nonverbal communication that reveals connection and affection. When people are in sync with each other, they often begin to mirror each other's movements. This could be as simple as both partners reaching for their drinks at the same time or crossing their legs in the same direction. While this might seem trivial, mirroring is actually a sign that two people are on the same emotional wavelength. It shows that they are comfortable with each other and are subconsciously attuning their behavior to match. This synchronization fosters a sense of closeness and trust, making it one of the key nonverbal signs of a strong emotional bond. Small acts of physical closeness also indicate love and trust. Whether it's sitting closer than necessary on the couch or finding excuses to be physically near each other, these gestures show a desire for connection. The space between two people says a lot about the level of intimacy in a relationship. In a loving and trusting relationship, people naturally gravitate toward each other, closing the distance. The simple act of sitting side by side, leaning into each other, or resting your head on your partner's shoulder conveys comfort, safety, and love. Another important yet subtle gesture is the way we communicate through our hands. Holding hands is an age-old gesture of connection that transcends cultures. It's a physical sign of unity, signaling that you are facing the world together. But beyond holding hands, there are other hand gestures that communicate affection, like resting your hand on someone's knee during a conversation or lightly brushing their arm. These actions are often instinctive, but they serve to maintain and strengthen the bond between partners. Finally, the tone of voice can also be a gesture of love and connection, even though it's technically a part of verbal communication. The way we speak to someone, whether it's softer, slower, or warmer than usual, can reveal deep affection. Partners often develop a relationship tone that they use only with each other. This tone is soothing, familiar, and comforting, signaling trust and intimacy. It's not just what we say, but how we say it that communicates love. In summary, love and trust are often communicated through a myriad of small gestures that are easy to overlook, but deeply meaningful. These nonverbal signals, touch, eye contact, posture, and even mirroring, are the building blocks of emotional connection. They reveal the depth of a relationship and allow us to express affection in ways that words cannot always capture. By paying attention to these small movements and actions, we can better understand the unspoken language of love that binds us to those we care about most. The role of eye contact in expressing interest and emotion. Eye contact is one of the most powerful and intimate forms of nonverbal communication. It plays a central role in conveying emotions, building connections, and expressing interest in others. While it may seem simple, eye contact is a complex and dynamic tool in human interaction, offering deep insights into how someone feels in the moment and what their intentions might be. In both personal and professional settings, eye contact can speak volumes, often revealing more than words ever could. At its core, eye contact establishes a connection between two people. When someone looks you directly in the eyes, it signals engagement and attentiveness. It's their way of saying, "I'm focused on you and I'm interested in what you have to say." This is why eye contact is so crucial in conversations. It shows that you are actively listening and that you value the other person's words and presence. In contrast, when someone avoids eye contact, it often suggests disinterest, discomfort, or even dishonesty. The lack of eye contact can make the other person feel ignored or unimportant, weakening the connection between them. One of the most significant ways eye contact expresses interest is through prolonged gazing. In romantic or intimate settings, extended eye contact can create a sense of closeness and attraction. When two people are interested in each other, they naturally spend more time looking into each other's eyes. This prolonged eye contact not only deepens the emotional connection, but also triggers the release of oxytocin, the love hormone, which enhances feelings of affection and bonding. This is why eye contact can be so powerful in the early stages of attraction, often creating a magnetic pull between two people before they even speak. However, the impact of eye contact goes beyond attraction. It's also a crucial tool in expressing emotions. When someone is happy, excited, or confident, their eye contact tends to be steady and direct. Their eyes may even appear brighter or more animated, reflecting their positive emotional state. On the other hand, when someone is sad, anxious, or uncomfortable, their eyes might dart away, their gaze might drop, or they may avoid eye contact altogether. This avoidance is a natural response when someone is feeling vulnerable or unsure. By breaking eye contact, they are subconsciously trying to protect themselves from being too exposed or judged. The intensity of eye contact can also reveal a person's emotional state. For instance, someone who maintains very intense eye contact may be trying to assert dominance or control in a situation. This type of gaze can feel intimidating or even aggressive, depending on the context. It's a tactic often used in negotiations or confrontations to establish power. On the flip side, gentle, warm eye contact can communicate empathy, kindness, and understanding. It softens the interaction and creates a safe space for the other person to express themselves openly. In conversations, eye contact also plays a key role in regulating the flow of communication. When people are speaking, they often make eye contact to signal that they are engaged in the exchange. Breaking eye contact, however, can indicate that they are ready to end their turn or invite the other person to speak. This silent exchange of glances helps keep the conversation balanced, allowing both parties to contribute without interrupting each other. For example, if you're talking to someone and they suddenly stop making eye contact and look away, it might signal that they're done speaking and waiting for your response. Culturally, the interpretation of eye contact can vary, but in many Western cultures, it is generally seen as a sign of confidence and respect. In professional settings, making eye contact during meetings or interviews demonstrates self-assurance and attentiveness. It conveys that you are engaged in the conversation and take the interaction seriously. This is why people who avoid eye contact in these situations are often perceived as less confident or less trustworthy. In fact, studies have shown that maintaining eye contact during interviews increases the likelihood of being perceived as competent and honest. However, it's essential to strike a balance with eye contact. Too much eye contact can be overwhelming or uncomfortable, while too little can create distance or mistrust. The key is to be mindful of the situation and the person you're interacting with. In intimate settings, longer eye contact is often appropriate and helps build emotional closeness. In professional or casual conversations, maintaining comfortable but not intense eye contact shows respect and interest without being overly intrusive. One of the fascinating things about eye contact is how it can convey different messages depending on the context. A fleeting glance across a crowded room can signal attraction or curiosity, while locking eyes with a loved one during a special moment can express deep emotional intimacy. Similarly, a brief look away during a conversation can indicate thoughtfulness or hesitation, while completely avoiding eye contact may suggest guilt or anxiety. These subtle differences in how we use eye contact reflect the nuances of human emotion and communication. Moreover, eye contact can be used strategically to influence how others perceive us. For instance, in public speaking, maintaining eye contact with the audience helps to engage listeners and make them feel more connected to the speaker. It creates a sense of direct communication, even in a large group setting. This is why experienced speakers often make a point to scan the room and make eye contact with various members of the audience. It helps build rapport and keeps the audience attentive. In personal relationships, eye contact plays a vital role in building trust and understanding. Couples who regularly make eye contact during conversations are more likely to feel emotionally connected and understood by each other. It's a way of saying, "I see you and I'm here with you in this moment." This is especially important during difficult conversations where eye contact can signal a willingness to listen, empathize, and work through challenges together. In conclusion, eye contact is a fundamental part of expressing interest, emotion, and connection in both personal and professional relationships. It's a silent yet powerful tool that can strengthen bonds, convey trust, and regulate communication. By paying attention to the way we use eye contact and how others respond to it, we can enhance our ability to connect with people on a deeper, more meaningful level. Whether it's a brief glance or a lingering gaze, the eyes truly are windows to the soul, revealing much more than words ever can. The subtle art of body language, understanding attraction and affection. Body language plays a crucial role in how we express attraction and affection, often serving as the unspoken bridge between two people. While verbal communication is important, it's these non-verbal signals that often reveal how someone truly feels. Attraction, in particular, is communicated through a wide range of physical cues, some so subtle that they go unnoticed unless you're paying close attention. One of the most telling signs of attraction is open body language. When someone is interested in you, they tend to face you directly, positioning their body towards you in a way that shows engagement and attentiveness. This openness is a subconscious way of inviting the other person into their space. Conversely, when someone feels uncomfortable or disinterested, they may close off by crossing their arms or turning slightly away, signaling a desire for distance. Another key indicator of attraction is mirroring. Mirroring happens when a person unconsciously mimics the actions or gestures of the person they're interested in. If you cross your legs, they may do the same shortly after. If you lean forward, they might also lean in. This behavior is a non-verbal way of establishing rapport and connection, often seen in the early stages of attraction when two people are trying to establish a sense of harmony with one another. Eye contact is another powerful element in non-verbal communication, especially when it comes to attraction. Prolonged eye contact can create a sense of intimacy and connection that words cannot. Studies have shown that people who make more eye contact are often perceived as more confident, trustworthy, and likable. In romantic situations, it can also be a sign of deep interest or affection. However, eye contact isn't just about staring. There's a delicate balance. Too much can be overwhelming, while too little can signal disinterest or discomfort. Subtle touches are also a significant part of how we convey affection. A light touch on the arm, shoulder, or back during a conversation can signal warmth and closeness. These gestures are often used to establish a physical connection without being too forward. For example, a simple brush of the hand during a laugh or a gentle touch on the arm during a conversation can create a feeling of intimacy. This kind of physical contact builds emotional connection and can help to break down barriers between people. Facial expressions, too, offer insight into feelings of attraction and affection. A genuine smile, which engages the muscles around the eyes as well as the mouth, is a clear indicator of positive feelings. This type of smile, often referred to as the Duchenne smile, is linked to genuine happiness and affection. On the other hand, a forced or polite smile, which only involves the mouth, can indicate that someone is trying to be courteous, but isn't truly engaged. Another important aspect of body language in the context of attraction is proximity. People naturally gravitate towards those they're interested in, reducing the physical distance between them. If someone consistently moves closer during a conversation or finds ways to be physically near you, it's a strong signal of interest. The closer someone feels to you emotionally, the more comfortable they are being physically close. Additionally, certain postures can signify attraction and openness. For example, leaning forward while someone is speaking indicates that you are not only listening, but are eager to hear more. It's a sign of engagement and interest. Similarly, uncrossed legs and arms show openness and a lack of defensiveness, making the person appear more approachable. While some of these gestures might seem small, together they create a powerful and nuanced form of communication that can reveal a great deal about someone's feelings. In fact, body language is often more reliable than spoken words when it comes to understanding attraction and affection. Words can be rehearsed or misinterpreted, but our body language tends to reflect our true emotions. Understanding the subtleties of body language can not only help you better navigate romantic relationships, but can also increase your emotional intelligence in general. By paying attention to these non-verbal cues, you can get a clearer picture of how someone feels about you and adjust your own communication accordingly. This heightened awareness can strengthen connections, foster mutual respect, and create deeper emotional bonds. So next time you're wondering if someone is interested in you, take a moment to observe not just what they say, but how they act, because the body rarely lies. In conclusion, body language is an incredibly rich and revealing aspect of human interaction, offering us valuable insights into emotions, relationships, and even unspoken intentions. From the way we make eye contact to how we position our bodies, every gesture and movement tells a story. By learning to recognize and interpret these subtle cues, we can build deeper connections, foster better communication, and navigate our personal and professional relationships with greater understanding and empathy. The more we pay attention to these nonverbal signals, the more we can respond thoughtfully to those around us, enhancing our interactions and strengthening the bonds we share. So, whether it's through a glance, a touch, or a shift in posture, remember that what we don't say is often just as important as what we do.